Hey there, comic book dudes and dudettes. This is Chris the Jedi here with my comic book review for the last week in October. It would be for 10/26, that is October 26th. Uh, Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate, the subscribers that I get and everything. And I promise you one of these days I will get around to sitting down and subscribing back to your channels. And I know I make it seem like I'm just like really important, and I'm not. I just spend a lot of time working and don't often have time to sit down and spend a lot of time with things that I want to, like my YouTube channel. Anyhow, so I'm going to try to do that really soon and get back at you guys. Because I appreciate the subscriptions, the subscribers, the people who are willing to sit there and listen to me talk about comic books for a few minutes every week. As always, I want to plug Arkham Comics here in Blytheville, Arkansas. Thanks to you guys. You're really, really awesome people, and it's like my favorite place to go ever. So anyhow, just want to thank them. They're awesome, and that's where I get all my comic book stuff. I got this new Justice League shirt. It's pretty awesome. Wore it to work today and had a guy there who was he was very impressed with it. He really dug it. So anyhow, comic book reviews. Let me real quick go ahead and plug a guy that I haven't plugged for a little while. I believe his name here on YouTube is Blue Goblin 01. Eddie, he's a guy I grew up with, and he's one of the first. He's the only person that I know personally that does another comic book review. So you guys go over and check him out. Also, look at the other people who have subscribed to my videos, because obviously if you're subscribing to the video and they're subscribing to the video, you guys probably have at least a few things in common, and so you can kind of network like that and make some new friends and stuff. So go ahead and check that out. Okay, comic book time. Ta-da! Green Lantern's New Guardian number 2. Tony Bedard, Tyler Kirkham. Tyler Kirkham. This is still my favorite of the new Green Lantern titles. I love it. Kyle Rayner has been, I don't know, somehow he's attracting all these other color rings, and nobody really knows what's going on. They can't figure out why, and so he goes back to Oa, and he's like, I'm going to get Ganthet to help me out, and the Guardians have lobotomized, Kyle's words, lobotomized Ganthet, and so now all of his emotion is gone, and so he's just a level-headed Guardian like the Guardians always wished he would be. But as we know, that's not who Ganthet is. So anyhow, you see a lot more of St. Walker in this one, which is really cool. I love the Blue Lanterns, and I love what they stand for and everything, so I think that's cool. This is turning out to be a great title. Like I said, it's honestly one of the best. That was a bird that flew into my window and scared the crap out of me. Anyhow, it's one of the best Green Lantern titles I have ever read. So, Green Lantern, New Guardians, number 2. Definitely go out and be picking up this book, and I'm very sorry I have an itchy eye problem. Anyhow, go out and pick up this book. It was really great. I am really, really digging it, and I'm excited to see where they're taking it. Next, here we go. Next, Batman, The Dark Knight, number 2. David Finch and Paul Jenkins, and they both kind of have some intermingling roles within creating the story and art. Anyhow, it's just kind of neat the way they do that. This was great. In my opinion, this is probably the best actual Batman title out right now between Detective Comics, Batman and Robin, and The Dark Knight. I would say The Dark Knight is the best. Just the way Finch is writing this stuff, and the way he's drawing it, the way Jenkins, the way they're writing and collaborating together, working together. This is awesome, and I'm loving this book. We see here Two-Face. If you remember from the end of number 1, Two-Face creeps around from behind a corner, and he's like some monster freak, roided out thing. Anyhow, basically they've discovered that someone has taken the Scarecrow drug, and instead of it inducing fear, they've re-engineered it to where it gives you no fear whatsoever. And anyhow, what happens? I won't tell you exactly what happens. It's early enough in the week. Some of you may not have read this yet. Anyhow, it's really cool. But this is a spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear this, flash forward like maybe 40 seconds or something. But here we go. Here's why this is my favorite so far. The villain at the end, it's the Joker. When was the last time we really saw the Joker play a big role in a Batman comic? And I'm not talking about that little thing he did on Batman and Robin, several months ago. I just didn't like that. But this is really cool. You see Joker, and he's like, man, he's all ripped and everything, and apparently he's taken the drug, and the Joker on a drug where he has no fear. I mean, that's just insane. And so this story arc is going to be very, very good. And I'm so looking forward to the rest of these issues. So Batman: The Dark Knight #2, it's awesome. Everyone go check it out. Next, one of my favorites this week, Aquaman #2, Geoff Johns, Ivan Reyes. This book has just been great. Geoff Johns has been doing a great job with Aquaman, and I've been reading interviews and things that he's done, and he's doing so much with this character that has never been done before. The book kind of starts out, and it's Arthur and Mira, and they're at the lighthouse, and they're just kind of going back through Arthur's childhood, and he's just kind of telling her a little bit about a little bit about his background, I guess. And she's really interested in that. She really wants to know. She's like, I've made the decision to live my life here with you, so I want to know what your life was like when you were younger. Anyhow, these, and right off the top of my head, I don't remember what they're called, but these little monster teeth, they're like piranhas with superhero bodies, is kind of what they are. Anyhow, they're like some of the raddest superhero villains I've seen in quite a while. When it comes to like just developing a new villain. Anyhow, so sorry about that. Anyhow, so this has just been really great. When I read some of the reviews for this, everyone had great things to say about it, but one guy really captured the comic, and he said that with the way Geoff Johns is writing the book, you're reading a book that could quite possibly be a movie.
Avast virus database has been updated.
Apparently my Avast has been updated. Anyhow, so you're reading a comic book that really shows that Aquaman could be a very viable movie character. And I know DC has got something in the works for a Flash movie. In fact, if I remember correctly, Ryan Reynolds was approached, and it was like, whichever one you want to do is the one we'll make first, Green Lantern or Flash. Of course, he went Green Lantern, which I'm glad. I liked him as GL. I don't think he would have made a good Barry Allen. First of all, can you see Ryan Reynolds blonde? Second of all, can you see Barry Allen not blonde? That's just like off the top of my head. I have a whole list of reasons why he wouldn't have been a good one, even though I really love Ryan Reynolds. So anyhow, that was kind of tangential. But this is just really great. I love what Geoff Johns is doing with this character. It's a character that I really dug him when I was a kid because of the way he looked. He had the long beard and the one arm armor thing. Anyhow, I thought it was really cool. He had the hook hand, but it was more like a trident hook hand, not like a captain hook hand. Anyhow, so I liked it. I love where this book is going, and I'm excited to see what happens with it next. Before I go any further, I want to say that this week was really hard to pick. This week was really hard to pick a pick of the week. Not because none of them were any good, but because the one that really stuck out to me is not the one I normally go with. Like, I don't maybe that doesn't make any sense. Anyhow, there were a lot of really good books that I just knew going into the week. I was like, okay, this book or this book is going to end up being my pick of the week. And so when they weren't, I was a little surprised. Here's one of them between Aquaman and The Flash #2. I just knew going into the week that one of these two would be my pick of the week. And this was good. This was so good. There's just one really big flaw, in my opinion, about this issue alone. And it's not really big, it's just, it has been sticking in my head ever since I read it a few days ago. In this one, of course, we have the whole clone thing going on with Manuel, I believe it's his name, Manuel something or another. Anyhow, it's a guy that Barry knew from college. And he's apparently been cloned by some government agency. Anyhow, the Flash is trying to figure out a way through this book to become faster, basically. And so this doctor tells him, if you can master, I believe it's augmented cognition, because he calls it AugCog. So I think it's augmented cognition, which is, it's the scientific principle or scientific theory of being able to expand the capabilities of your mind. And instead of having this bottlenecking, as it's described in here, this bottlenecking flow of information where you have all this information being crammed into or out of this little source, it's really just expand. The theory talks about expanding that. And so the guy tells Barry, he's like, physically you're as fast as you can be, but mentally you're nowhere close. Like, you could be so much faster mentally. So Barry is on a roof and he's trying to figure out how to tap into augmented cognition. And then it just happens. And it's cool. Man, some really cool stuff starts happening, and I like what I'm seeing. And it's like super awesome Flash, Speed Force changing the world type stuff. And it's cool. My only problem is that, augmented cognition is what it was. My only problem is that they don't tell you how it happens. He's just standing there on the roof, and then it happens. And he all of a sudden is noticing all these things that he didn't notice before, which I have to hand it to Francis Manapul. To put that in there the way he did, I knew as soon as I saw the first, little blocks starting to form, I was like, oh my god, this is what Francis Manapul was doing. So anyhow, this is really cool. Another reason that it really didn't make my pick of the week is it's very derivative of Limitless, which was a great movie. I really liked the movie. But anyhow, so this was great. I'm not taking that away. It was great. It just didn't make my pick of the week because of those few little things. Don't get me wrong. This is great. I loved The Flash #2. Everyone pick it up. It just did not make my pick of the week. These next 3 books, man, I had so many good books this week. We have Ninja Turtles #3. Kevin Eastman, Waltz. I can't remember Waltz's name, and I don't want to open the book to look. Anyhow, these books are awesome. First of all, the covers get me every month. I love the covers of these books. And the interior art is just as good. It's the same artist doing the interior art, and I like it when they do that. I hate it when you have this awesome cover and you get inside and it's a different artist on the inside, and it's kind of, I don't know, mediocre at best. But this is so good. It's a retelling of the origin story, and they've changed some things. But listen, I'm a Ninja Turtles fan. I grew up a Ninja Turtles fan. And I think this is great. This is one of the best things I'm reading right now. I don't know. I'm reading so many books that it'd be hard to put it in the top 5. But I think it'd be really close. This is great. The way they're telling this story, the art in it, I love this. We have, for those of you who haven't been reading any of this and you don't know, the 3 turtles, or 3 of the turtles, Michelangelo, Leonardo, and Donatello, along with Master Splinter, have kind of been separated from Raphael since growth. The little ooze thing, it makes them grow. Anyhow, so the 3 of the turtles and Splinter are on the search for Raphael. And then Raphael is just wandering around the city. He has no idea who he is. He doesn't know his name or anything like that. He just woke up one day in an alley. So this is really cool. They've already got Casey Jones in it, who was one of my favorites. This is just a really awesome story. Go out and pick this up. If you're a Ninja Turtles fan, you're going to love it. But really, you're just going to love this book. It's awesome. So, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #3. Go check it out. Next is a new book for me this week. It's the only new book I have, and I was really excited to get it because I've kind of been wanting to get into this character, and people have been telling me for a long time it's just not worth it. But here we have The Incredible Hulk #1. Just to give you a little backstory in case you didn't know, because I didn't, I had to go look it up. Apparently in I believe it's Fear Itself #7, or Fear Itself the Fearless #7. I'm not reading that, so I don't really know how the numbering goes. Anyhow, I believe it's Fear Itself #7. Somehow, in an unexplained way, the Hulk is able to separate himself from Bruce Banner. I went back and read some Hulk mythology, and apparently it's widely known that the Hulk and Bruce are two completely separate entities, sharing the same physical space, I guess you could say. Anyhow, this was so good. The art in it was good. It was really cool, and like Hulk just looked like he could murder people at any moment, which is what you want to see out of the Hulk. But he finally had this peaceful attitude about him where he just wanted to be left alone. He's found this place where he's happy, and he just wants to be left alone, living with these rock people down. I mean, they're not rock people. They're little weird things who live down in the rocks, and they pray to the rock gods. Not like Zeppelin and things like that, but like, anyhow. So this was so cool. He's peaceful and everything, and then some lady, something Von Doom. They put no relation in that thing, so I'm assuming it's not related to Victor Von Doom. Anyhow, she's like a government agent, and she comes to get the Hulk. She's like, listen, big dude, you got to help us out, because Banner has lost it, and he's going crazy. And then you see Banner has been taking animals, and apparently he's been kind of humanizing them, making them, I don't know, somewhat anthropomorphized, I guess. I don't really think that'd be the right word. I think I used that incorrectly. Anyhow, so Banner's crazy. The Hulk has got to go stop him. #1. This was great. This was a great book. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm going to continue to pick that up, at least for quite some time. I'm hoping it continues to be this good. Oh, I didn't say who did it. Jason Aaron and Mark Silvestri. So I've never read or seen anything by either of those before, so I was really, really pleased with what happened in this. So now we've come down to it. Pick of the week. Thank you guys for sticking in there with me this week. I've been trying to do this really, really fast. That's why I'm talking fast. I'm not like on something. I'm just trying to do this fast because I only have a limited amount of time. So anyhow, Amazing Spider-Man #672. That's what I was thinking. 672. It's a Spider Island #6. Pick of the week right here. Man, Dan Slott, Humberto Ramos, these guys killing it on Spider-Man. This is awesome. We finally see here in this one, and I'm going to go ahead and spoiler alert right here. If you don't want to know, go ahead and stop it. This is my last book, so if you don't want to know what happens, go ahead and stop the video. But they finally figure out how to stop the Queen. It's really cool. Spider-Man saves the day. All that's great. But there's a little panel where Spider-Man and Mary Jane are on top of, I think, the Empire State Building. And, she's kind of fighting off these things while Spider-Man's saving the day. And there's just this brief moment where she kind of, and the way it's written very lightly, I would assume she's saying it under her breath. She's like, I love you. And he goes, what? And she's like, nothing. Anyhow, it's just kind of a cool moment. I was super excited to see Mary Jane say that to Peter. Not that I don't like Peter's new girlfriend, whatever her name is, I don't even know. But, I mean, come on. Peter Parker and Mary Jane is what people want to see. And I think the writers know that. So here we are. We have this very last panel is Peter and Mary Jane up on top of, like I said, I think it's the Empire State Building. So they're sitting up on top there. And he's just kind of holding her very sweetly and romantically, and it's like, really sweet and romantic? That's what you got out of that comic book? But I mean, the action has been present all throughout. You know, there's been just been these killer fight scenes, overwhelming odds that the heroes have to overcome. But this has just been real, like, just this thing that may have sparked up here between Mary Jane and Peter Parker. Man, this is awesome. So I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. The next one is the epilogue. 673 is the epilogue, so I think that'll completely wrap up the Spider Island thing. But of course, you know, if you read comic books, you know that the things that happen will kind of carry out, hopefully, will kind of carry out throughout the rest of the books. Anyhow, so I'm going to go because Chuck starts back tonight. It's my favorite TV show in the whole wide world. And it starts back tonight, so I'm going to go and I'm going to get ready for it. And I know you're like, you're ready for a TV show? Yes, I'm going to get ready for it. I'm like preparing myself. I'm super excited. I've been tweeting about Chuck all day. And for those of you who follow me on Twitter and you're getting annoyed, I'm very, very sorry. And I also don't care. Anyhow, I freaking love this show. And so I'm very excited that it's back on. I'm a little bummed that it is in its last season. But I was listening to a podcast earlier, and Zachary Levi was talking, and he's like, you know, maybe after this we'll do our little 13 episodes, and then we'll have a Serenity moment where we go on after that, and we make a Chuck movie to actually wrap it up. So that would be really awesome. I'm all for that. Anyhow, wow, man, almost 22 minutes here, and you guys are still sitting there watching. That's pretty cool. May the Force be with you. Have a great weekend. Thanks.